I think there are some things around the topic of leadership, which is, it's our theme, this is what we do. I think that are never going to change. And I should not say that for sure, but as far as I'm concerned, everything that I've seen for all of the things which are changing, some things are not changing on this topic of leadership. Leadership is personal. Leadership is much less about the charismatic speech and the PowerPoints and the key messages or the iconic moves than it is about who you are from the inside out. And that's because we're Homo sapiens, we're human beings. You know, you sit here and I do, and I stand here because our ancestors didn't get eaten. They made good choices. And they were able to sense that movement in the bush as to whether or not that's something that I can eat or that's something that's going to eat me, and they made good choices. And that still is the same. I mean, we have not changed really that much in our basic way of sensing since we walked out of Africa. So there's a whole lot about leadership that I think is going to remain the same. And probably the most important for me is that leadership is deeply personal. And if you kind of try and get a compass on what that means, is that the locus of control, which we all need, is either external or internal. And the great leaders, the most effective leaders, those that not only make consistently better choices, but create the context for better choices to be made by the tribe, by the team, have very clearly an internal locus of control. Their confidence about that movement in the bush or that decision about bringing this person onto the team or not, moving into this market or not, comes from inside out. The people who tend not to do well, probably in any environment, but certainly not in this one, are those who have an external locus of control. And that's why when we first started doing this work, the foundation work around developing as a leader starts from the inside. It's around leading self. That hasn't shifted. Leadership is personal. Leadership fundamentally is about relationships. And before you get to the topic of the relationships with those on your team, those in your proximity, that must ultimately be guided by the relationship that you have with yourself. And henceforth, the ability that you have to know yourself. You can't have a relationship with your customers unless you know your customers. You can't have a relationship with the members of your team, your colleagues, your comrades, unless you know them really, and know them not just at a superficial level, but you know what they stand for and what they will not stand for. You must know that yourself. Leadership is personal. Leadership fundamentally is about relationships, and the conversation is the relationship.